As they already explained, spoke a little bit of my background and what I have done so far. That's not important. Let's focus today about you. Okay? So we're going to talk a little about health in youth. And that's what you all are today. So when I see young women, like you all in an auditorium like this, who are you all? You know, when we try to describe you or put you into kind of a bracket, it's very easy to explain to children. You know, infants, teens or pre-teens. But where do you fall in the bracket? You're obviously past your puberty. You're not adults. So where are you? So I was trying to find a very good explanation to where do you actually fit. So I think this explains you all. You're people who have finished your puberty and moving into adulthood. So you're actually preparing yourself to be an adult. So now that we're calling yourself young adulthood, what is probably going on in your minds? Are these in your thoughts? Yes, obviously, that's natural. This is what we look at when we're young. We want to look good. Whether it's our hair, our skin. These are things that we aim to achieve at this age. That's natural. Maybe fashion is in your mind right now. Quite a few people are thinking about that. Should I change my bag? Should I change my attire? Should I change my style? Some people are probably thinking about the way you look. Maybe you're okay, maybe you're not okay. You're looking at the way you look. Some people may be exploring love, feeling love, in love. Yes? Yes. So where is this leading you all to? You're all in the process. You're all in the path to become more mature people. And this is some kind of a self-discovery. You're learning all these things. You're learning to identify yourself. What are you? What are your skills? Where do you stand? What do you want to be? You're trying to start making decisions for yourself. Some of them may be good, some of them may be bad. But you're making decisions. All with the intentions to self-value yourself. You want to know where do you stand among your peers, in your family. So why should you worry about health? Why are we here talking about health with you all when these are what your thoughts are? Well, if you look at a lot of research, what they talk about young women, why is it such an issue? Almost more than 20% of the population in India are your age group. That's a reason to worry. In fact, the government recently, last year, launched the first program for adolescents and young women. Half of the mental diseases, actually, the signs of those actually set in now. So if you don't recognize those problems now, and if you don't notice those patterns now, you're likely to carry on this into a worse form of a disease. You're still in the habit of establishing your habits. What kind of habits are we talking about? Maybe it's a simple choice of choosing to eat a fruit, or a choice of controlling your choices of alcohol, or it's a choice about should you not smoke. These are habits you're still trying to establish in yourself. You're still not sure. Should I do it? Should I not do it? The pressure is still building on. You're still being influenced by family, probably more by your friends. Even the society is influencing you. You're yet to realize your full potential. You still don't know what you're capable of. And as we look at it, I've gone through that cycle. 20 years ago I was there, now I'm here. We see you as a very productive group of the community. And that's the reason why we feel health of y'all is very important. What would I put as your primary health concerns that I feel is somehow related to either the way you eat or your exercise habits? Maybe for y'all, first of the list will not be these things, but will probably be acne. Yes, anemia, eating disorders. Either you're gaining weight or you're either somewhere in the overweight category. You have issues related to your menstrual problems. Maybe some of you all have been diagnosed to have PCOS. Some of you all may have issues with the way you look. There's a definitive term now called as body image. So let's go through some of these very briefly. You'll probably know a lot, but from my perspective of why I think this is important, and how to deal with these issues. The first thing that I am choosing to talk about is body image. We did a study, I think about 1 or 2 years ago in Mounts. A student from Mounts did this, and we looked at indicators of eating disorders. Surprisingly, we found 30 to 40% of girls in Mounts to have indications of probably likely to suffer an eating disorder. That was a real shock. So if you all are sitting there and saying, I'm doing a few things about something with regard to my diet and you have no idea whether it's unhealthy or healthy, then today is the day for you to make a quick check. So what is body image? In very simple terms, it is simply how you see yourself. How do you see yourself? I feel I look at myself, maybe because of my age, that I'm healthy. Maybe 20 years ago, I would have looked at it as, oh, I'm a little plumpy here. I wish I had lost a little bit of fat here. That's my perspective of 20 years. That's fine. You know how you are. But how do you picture yourself? How far away are you from the reality of how you are right now? That distortion is called as body image. So this is something that really is bothering a lot of young people. And indicators of a negative body image, those people who have these thoughts, where they have a distorted perception about how they look. I'm very bulky here. No, that is a huge distortion. Probably your friends may feel otherwise. Your family may feel otherwise. So check with people. You feel everybody else is attractive except you. You feel that you take it very personal. You say, it's got to do with me. There's something wrong with me because of the way I look. You begin to make it personal. You don't seem happy with the way you look. You're in fact probably ashamed about it. Conscious, very anxious. You may be trying to wear clothes that cover a little bit of, whatever consciousness you have. You're definitely very, very uncomfortable. These are all signs indicative of the fact that you might be suffering or may be prone to an eating disorder. So if you have any of these thoughts, I would suggest you do something about it. So it is usually less to do with choices of food or exercising. It's more an emotional issue. The issue with body image is emotional. So it deals with extreme emotions, extreme attitudes and beliefs about food and your weight. So please make a quick check and see whether you fall into this category. So it is considered as a serious emotional and physical problem that can have life-threatening consequences. It's not just about trying to manage your weight or having little deficiencies. It can actually affect your life. So what are the watch out signs? If you have distorted body image, if you indulge in any of these behaviors, you binge eat. The definition of binge eating is eating to a point of feeling very, very uncomfortable, overeating yourself. Purging, excessive dieting, having very emotional reactions to your weight. All these are indicators of a body image problem. You don't need a dietitian, you need professional help. My advice is seek help. Speak to your family members and try to seek some help. If you're a friend of a person who might have these problems, maybe you can do something about it. Some of you all may relate to this. Try to read and understand about this disorder so you can identify where your friend stands in. Try to be a role model yourself. Keep guiding on what is healthy eating and what is healthy exercising. Tell someone in her family or your family where you can take this forward to give her help. Compliment on other skills. We put a lot of weightage on how a person looks. We start categorizing people as healthy and unhealthy because of their physical features. For a lot of reasons, people gain weight that's beyond their control. PCOS, thyroid conditions, maybe even beyond that. So do not determine a person's capacities based on how they look. There are a lot of other skills for which they really should be valued. If it's your friend, please be honest and firm and say that this is what you feel about her. I think you have a problem. I disagree with how strongly you feel about your weight or the way you eat your food. Dealing with another common disorder, PCOS, somewhere between 15 to 30% of women are likely to be suffering from PCOS. We don't really have a clear idea of how many people in India actually suffer from PCOS. What are the problems found in people who have PCOS? Obesity. More than 50% of people who have PCOS are obese. Central obesity, because of hormonal imbalances, they have a tendency to gain a lot of fat around the abdomen, so they are risk of central adiposity. Hyperinsulinemia, as the PCOS progresses, it leads them to a stage which puts them at a risk of developing either pre-diabetes and later on diabetes. Also possibly later on in life, they could be at a risk of cardiovascular diseases. So the aim for PCOS and the baseline treatment for PCOS condition is actually either a lifestyle change or a modest amount of weight loss also is useful to deal with all these problems related to PCOS. Obesity. I don't know exactly what is the percentage. There are a lot of studies that talk about a huge range of obesity in adolescents and young women, somewhere between 15%, even up to 30%, but it's somewhere in that range. Why is obesity an issue? Other than the physical problems, we know if you're obese, it causes health concerns, it increases problems related to the heart, diabetes, a lot of the other issues. But if you look at it the emotional point of view, particularly at your age, if you're obese, you're likely to feel stressed. You're not happy with the fact that you're obese, and that's kind of building unnecessary stress on you. You may feel that you are lonely. There is a sense of loneliness in obese people. There could be a lack of sleep in people who are obese. Self-esteem can be affected. And definitely people who are obese also have a very poor self-body image. That is the facts about what are the health issues that you are likely to experience, you are probably experiencing right now. But what to do about it? That's what this talk is all about. Identify the immediate benefits. You're not going to relate to diabetes and cardiovascular disease. I can't put that into your head. You find this too early in your career to even worry about. So look at the immediate benefits of a health change. What would immediately benefit you? If you make small changes to your diet or exercise, you can easily start maintaining your weight. Is that something everybody would relate to? How many would relate to this? You will immediately feel more energetic. How many of you feel tired at the end of the day? There. I got your attention now. By making small changes to your diet and exercise, you can overcome this problem. How simple a solution. You can look better. People who exercise have better distribution of body fat. They can reduce the waist circumferences. Therefore, it gives you a better body image. It can boost your confidence. Exercise can do that. It increases socialization. If you go out and choose to exercise with a group, you're likely to socialize more, you make more friends. You have to see the fun in it. Nobody is seeing the fun in it. Try going to the gym, try choosing an exercise in your life and see how fun it is. So making healthful changes can be fun in your life. How do you start? Make small changes, very small changes. You don't need to drastically, revamp your diet or do a lot of exercise. With very small changes. So let's take these small changes forward. First change. What do you think should be the first change from your perspective? Somebody can scream out.
Home food.
Home food. Water. I didn't hear anything else. Eat well. This is my first suggestion. Begin with breakfast. When we did this study, we found that 40% of girls your age don't eat breakfast. How many of you all relate to this? I'll come to that. Why do you need to eat breakfast? One, of course, it's the first meal. Yes, after 8 hours of fasting, that's the first meal that you get to have. People who eat breakfast actually can do better in academics. At least it's proven in young kids. When you eat a carb diet, it can maintain certain amount of blood sugars that can have an impact on your cognition, ability to remember, memory. So it actually in the long run can improve your academics. Most of your minerals, vitamins and fibers can actually be met with a good breakfast. People who eat breakfast are less likely to be overweight. People who eat breakfast are more energetic, can deal with their hunger issues better, and people who eat breakfast are the people who are actually the most conscious. So these are all the reasons why you should start this first. So somebody said no time. On a day when you're really busy, you cannot get time to eat breakfast, why don't you at least grab a fruit? If you have the opportunity to make a simple scrambled egg with toast, brown bread, yogurt with any berries, bread and peanut butter, poha. Anything else you want to add to this list? Kellogg's, cornflakes. How many of you can eat this very easily in the morning? Is time really a factor now? Next, second thing I would advise is know exactly what is your healthy weight. You know BMI, but where are you placing yourself? There's a real misconception that people say for a given height, this is my weight. But it's a range. Know that. Know what is normal BMI. Read up a little bit of the science of body shaping that happens in girls from puberty to young adulthood. There's a lot of changes that's happening. So if you are unhappy because of the way you look, maybe you feel a little heavier on your chest, maybe you feel there's a lot of fat here. It's a process. Recognize that it will resolve over time and you're still in the process. There are a lot of genetic aspects you really cannot do much about. Changes are still happening. You're not completely an adult. So recognize that the reason you have issues with the way you're shaped, with your weight, is because you're still undergoing some changes. If you wish to do something about your diet, at least be very clear to identify what is called as fad diets. Do not follow these fad diets. They're the ones that really have long-term health consequences. What are fad diets? If anybody promises you more than 1 kg weight loss per week, that's definitely a fad diet. Anything that involves just the consumption of pills or particular food, a specific herb or certain powders cannot help you with weight loss. If you completely skip an entire food group, you're not going to be very grateful, you're not going to see good results with weight loss. If you think by having something you can boost your metabolism, these are really fad diets. So identify fad diets and choose more healthful options if you wish to do something about your healthy dieting. Unhealthy dieting habits are all these. If you try to fast, if you skip meals, you do any of these habits, all these are unhealthy habits. If you're including any of these right now, you're likely to suffer a deficiency or some kind of a problem in the next few months. In college, since you spend a large part of your life in college, what can you do? Check your college canteen and see what's available that is healthy for you if you cannot have a meal at home. Carry a fruit or a beverage. That's easy to pack in your bag. No time, no problem. This is easy. Yes? Make time to eat something before your classes start. You get lots of time. Try to stay hydrated most of the day. When you choose to eat something between meals, at least choose healthy snacks. Simple things. I think quite a few of these are easily available in your canteen and in the options that's there in your college. Anything else you want to add to this? Any one more snack, healthy snack? Dietetics students. Khakra. Ragi laddu, difficult to get. Sorry? Chocolates. Groundnuts. Yes, nuts. So in fact there was a huge drive that's been created in US where they're actually talking about smart snacking in schools. I think this is something, I don't know if there is anybody from the administration side who can look at this. They've come up with this very nice, smart way of identifying foods based on what we call as